super happy to have you. Our PEs looking down the list. We've got some people who are pretty new to the Rotary world, and we've got some people who've been around this block before and are doing a repeat of a presidency. So we've got a lot of different individuals, and that's okay. Part of the Rotary family is we put our arms around everyone and bring everyone along as we go. So I am Mark Shockey, and I will be the district governor for your year for 25-26. And in the last 3 years, I have been learning all sorts of things about Rotary and just want to kind of share a few tidbits. We've got a schedule that I had sent out, and I'll send the PDF again with the recording, and it'll go to all of you just so each time you can see, okay, I missed that meeting. Here's the recording. My whole concept with this is I wanted to have 12 different gatherings plus the president-elect training where you would have, and my real goal is that you would have a half an hour twice a month just to be thinking about your presidential year and to do a little guiding on, okay, make sure you're thinking about these things. So, congrats on being selected to be president of your club. I was president in 13-14 of the Edina Morningside Club, my club at that point. I've been in Rotary since 1989. I'm one of those long timers. You'll be hearing my story along the way, so I'm not going to tell you a lot of my story. But what I do want to say to you is this. I speak publicly in my job every week, at least once. And, for years going into the presidency, I was speaking to 200 to 1,000 people every week. And I have to tell you, I was more nervous about being the Rotary president than I was speaking every single weekend. It's kind of interesting. My first opportunity to lead a meeting was when I was PE, like you. The president was going to be gone, and so Mark, we need you to do the meeting. What? How am I
Mm.
doing this? So again, it depends on your club, and there's a lot of dynamics to it. But for me, I had so much respect for Rotary that I just wanted to do well in what I did as a incoming president. It was one of the greatest experiences. I learned so much about leadership during my training, during my ramp up year, the preparation. I learned a lot about myself during that time. I learned about vision casting. I learned about goal fulfillment, about leading boards, and really the greatest joy through it all is helping many people serve. So those are just some of the things that you get to look forward to. Now, the reality is it's 1 year. You get a 1 year term, and 1 year is short, and it will go by very quickly. But you will do so much. That's for sure. In your Rotary year, you will accomplish so much. And that's what these ramp up meetings are all about, these preparation meetings. All right, I want to give you just a little bit of inspiration as we get started here today. One of the most famous parks in the world is Central Park in New York City. And perhaps some of you have had the opportunity to be there in New York City. Central Park is just a very peaceful place. It is very surprising that in the midst of skyscrapers and apartment buildings and retail stores is this very quiet, secluded, wonderful gathering spot in the midst of it all. And the story of Central Park is quite interesting. One man undertook a huge effort, and the rest is, as they say, history.
He seems cheerful.
But he does. I haven't spotted him, but I wonder if he's made a nest hereabouts.
You'd be a fool not to. A grand old tree like this one.
How old do you suppose it is? How long do you think it's stood here?
I don't know, sir. Perhaps it's always been here.
No. No. I remember when this place was something quite different.
Watch your step. Some of these bogs have been known to swallow a whole pig.
I had not been aware that the park was such a very nasty place.
Nothing park-like about it, if you ask me.
The lowgrounds were steeped in the overflowing mush of pigsties and slaughterhouses. And the stench was sickening. Yet, I could see that the time would come when New York would be built into rows of monotonous straight streets and angular buildings. Only then would the priceless value of the park be fully recognized. The work was arduous. The scope of the task, almost beyond comprehension. And those who oversaw the endeavor were unqualified and liable to permit any absurdity.
They want to see results now! They want to see something beautiful!
I am making something beautiful.
Frederick, would a few geraniums kill you?
No, but they are a trifle. And I aim to make something that lasts. Something that will outlast all of us.
I often wonder, why have I undertaken such a thing? And would then recall a certain summer day. And my grandfather.
A fine old tree, is it not?
It is.
Would you be surprised if I told you that I was the one who put it there?
I would indeed.
I was about your age. I went out into
He
the swamp.
described to me how he had dug it in the swamp and brought it on his shoulder and been allowed to plant it all by himself. It came to me that there was nothing in all his long life of which he was so frankly proud as the planting and the beautiful growth of this tree.
'Tis wondrous what can come from a little hard work. and a great deal of time.
Pardon me, sir. Might I go play now?
That is precisely what you should do. In laying out Central Park, we determined to think of no result to be realized in less than 40 years. I have all my life been considering distant effects and always sacrificing immediate success and applause to that of the future.
It is wondrous what can come from a little hard work and a whole lot of time. And I just thought that is such a powerful little glimpse as you're thinking about something as insurmountable as leading a club. Where do I begin? There's so many things that are happening, and there's so many things that I think could be accomplished. And we get excited about that, but then we get overwhelmed about that. And this is just a reminder that um, plant the tree, get in there and do the work, do the preparation, and with some time something amazing is going to happen. And I can vouch, as can the other AGs who have hopped on our Zoom this morning, that it will be years perhaps before you'll really see the impact and the value that the year that you invested of your life into Rotary really has a chance to play out. So I want you to consider what you do now will have a huge effect on the future. What you do now will have a huge effect on the future, and that's why there's this importance of preparing and the crucial planning before your year begins. So I want to just cover a few things. The idea behind these meetings is to do some presenting that will take place in the first 30 minutes, kind of lay out things a little bit, and then give you an opportunity in the last 30 minutes to actually put what you've heard into effect, to schedule things, to just take a blank piece of paper and consider them, or work on your task list. I recognize people learn in different styles and different ways. For some of you, you will hear enough in the first 30 minutes that you'll say, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. I will do that. And all I'm asking is that if you would promise that you will actually spend 30 minutes, it doesn't have to be immediately, but yes, today, 30 minutes, really contemplating what we talked about, putting your plan into action. Then great things will happen. And if you will do that, there are 12 of these, and if you will do that, you'll have spent 6 hours preparing, and that 6 hours will pay huge dividends as we go forward. So let's see here. What I want to take a moment to do is to take a little look at my Rotary. So there are a couple things that I want to point out today, um, that are here in my Rotary. So let me call this up and close that part down. All right, so you may be familiar with the wonders of my Rotary. If not, it can be your friend as you're prepping for your presidential year and while you're in there. Mine looks a little different. I've got both club and district responsibilities that are there. But this is the basic screen, and if you have any difficulties getting into your Rotary account, or you have never set up a Rotary account, it's not really all that difficult. Just up here in the top right is my account, and you can look at that or set this up. And there are some great helps to be able to get in if you're not. So one of the things I'd like to point out to you today is Rotary during the pandemic went completely digital. So workbooks and so on, if you were a president, within the last years, you might have had a presidential workbook. Well, they don't do that anymore. There are many different resources that are found online. So on to knowledge and resources. So it's the fourth tab over by the top. And then there's what's called resources by role. And those resources, you'll come down and you'll say, oh, well, I'm going to be club president. So I want to find the club role. And as you open that up, then it'll give you some more choices. I want to get ready to be the president. So this is a club role of president, and we'll just quickly click on that. And then here's the overview of what it is that you'll do as president. So what is really important to notice is these are the six most important things that you'll be doing in your year. Yes, there's other things that you'll do as well, but if you can make sure that you're doing these six things, you'll have a fantastic year as you go. Let me make this a little larger so you can see what you do. The obvious: you preside over club and board meetings, so you lead. That's very clear. Also, you're going to be appointing committee chairs and members. Every club is set up a little bit differently. Some clubs have multi-year commitments. Some clubs renew all of their committee chairs year after year. It's up to how your club is set up, but make sure you're aware, okay, who's here, and now's the time to start talking in these next couple of months to the people who are currently serving. Are you planning on continuing to serve in this role? Or is there someone else that you'd like to invite? No matter what you do as you do this, make sure that you're really communicating clearly. People will usually be happy to wrap up their responsibilities if you've identified someone new, let's say like for membership. Maybe you've had a membership chair for 3 years, and just make sure you say to that membership chair who's been doing this, thank you for serving. I want you to know that Sue is stepping up to be our next membership chair. Would you help guide her? Would you train her? Would you lead her? Would you share what you know so that by the time your term finishes, that she'll be ready to pick it up and go. And that helps. Nothing more frustrating than having been someone, for example, I was PI chair for several years, and a new president came in, and I really didn't know um, halfway through May whether or not I was going to be continuing or whether I was going to be replaced. So that's very important, the committee chairs and members. The club assemblies, Rotary, your bylaws require a meeting of the club, and often that is to make sure that some of your chairs and your board members are elected, approved, the like. Budgeting and club finances, just get aware and start paying attention to those reports that are there. If you don't like finances, set up a time with the current treasurer and say, can you walk me through what I need to know here? And get familiar with what's going on in finances. Youth are a huge part of Rotary, but there are some requirements that are necessary so that it's a safe environment. And in fact, Rotary requires a learning about just that very thing before you're president. So we'll look at that in just a moment. And then work with your district governor. That'll be me, and your assistant governor. I know here in our district, we come as a team. So your district governor comes with a district governor line. Sharon right now, you can approach her right now and ask her anything. Leif will follow after me. And we were talking, right, as some of you were still coming in, Sam Thompson will be the DG the year after Leif. So we're building a continuity that's there. And the same way the assistant governors, each area has a assistant governor, and there are, what is it, 4 to probably 8 clubs that are in each area. And your district governor has so much information. They've been around the block, and they can help you discover some resources. So make sure to talk to them. The other thing is district governors as a whole are all working together, and those assistant governors, I'm sorry, the assistant governors, the AGs, are working together, and they then can be very helpful as well. So you can tap other AGs, and there are times that they're going to say, well, you need to talk to your own AG, but basic questions, just find folks and ask them that kind of question. So that's what you do. And you can look at that information that's here. There's some things about how to prepare, and there's some resources and references that are listed here. Of course, as most online resources, if it's blue, you can click on it and you can get in, or underlined, etc. And then some specific tools that are there. And then what we just talked about, where do you go for support? So there's a lot of information that's right there in my Rotary for you. So familiarize yourself with that section, and then just want to go into the Learning Center is the second thing. And some of you are familiar with this. Some of you have been taking some courses in the Learning Center. You will be wanting to look at that. One of the ways you can do that is just figure out what works in your schedule. If you can give like a half an hour a week toward this, you'll master these. They won't be overwhelming, but you might be a binge watcher. And so you can do things, you can set aside old Rotary President Day and just prep for Rotary in that kind of way. Whatever style works for you. Don't forget the Learning Center, and you can get to it down here and the Learning Center box. You can also get to it in Knowledge and Resources above where we had had looked. So for you, it's going to look a little different than mine. I've got a lot of continuing work that I will need to be doing, and it's thinking about it as my DG aspect continues on, but yours will be custom for you. There are some general things about club leadership, and there's also, some general things about Rotary, and they're under the different branches of Rotary, public image, membership, foundation. You'll find lots of tools to do, and you can click on any of these and it will get you right into what you need to see. So again, some of you are aware of that. Some of you, this might be, oh, that's where I get information about how to be a president in my year. So that's the overall quote training for the day, if you will, your learning for today. I want to challenge you in your planning time to do three things. First of all, walk alongside someone. What you can do is look for a person who can guide you or even mentor you as you come into your into your president year. But start that here at this point. Find someone, just ask them, what did you learn through Rotary, through your leadership through Rotary? Maybe it'll be a past president. And then what should I expect if you ask them that? So just sit down. It's inspiring, it's helpful, it's so great. So yesterday, as I'm getting ready for my DG year, I'll give you an example. Don Stiles. Some of you know Don Stiles because you've worked on some grants, and Don Stiles enables tens of thousands of dollars to get in the hands of clubs every year. And I was challenged to make sure I was in the know about Rotary Foundation. So I thought when I was on a Zoom meeting by the zone Rotary Foundation leader, I thought I'm going to talk to Don. And so we set it up and we just went for coffee for an hour yesterday morning. And he walked me through, these are a few of the things that are going on in the district. This is what you need to know. This is what I'm going to need from you when you are district governor. This is how long you can expect me to serve, all those things. And I would have never been able to put that together so succinctly if I hadn't sat down with him. And I'll tell you, I had so much energy for the afternoon after that time. So find someone in your club, perhaps. It doesn't have to be in your club. Maybe you have a friend who's been a member of or a president of another Rotary club that encouraged you to become a president. And that might be the best person. Who tapped you on the shoulder and asked you to be president? Maybe you want to go after that person and just sit down with them. That's it. So here's a couple of other things here, but let me talk through these first. So the second thing is Get Pets President-elect Training Seminar Pets on your calendar. So we have what's called North Central Pets, NC Pets. So there are several districts that do our training together. That just resources our leverages. It allows us to get better rates for nice facilities, but it also allows us to bring in better speakers to prepare you for your Rotary year. So that is coming. The dates of that are Thursday, March 13th, and it doesn't start until 6 p.m. And I will say that that 6 p.m. is a evening reception. It's optional, but I'd encourage you not to make it optional. That is the connecting time that you have to work beside the other president-elects, to get to know each other, to find out, okay, what are you going to be doing during your year? Oh, okay. Where did you find this? And so that time, especially since Pets will be here in Minnesota, so it is at the Viking Training Center at the Omni Hotel right on 494 in Eagan. So it's within our district. And, there are two reasons why that happens. We get a lot here in Minnesota. Number one reason is our airport is extremely competitive, and there are flights coming in from all over. So we're very regional in that regard. And then secondly, we've just got good facilities. So the cost is very helpful as well. And we have a 3-year contract with the Omni Hotel. So one of the highlights too, by the way, is going to be a speaker from the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, who's going to talk to us over breakfast about just about teams and how to establish good teams. So there'll be some great things. All right, so it starts on Thursday and then it ends on noon on the 15th, March 15th. So make sure you've got those dates down. You will be getting some registration material. I think they're trying to firm up some of the last speakers who will be coming, and Rotary International's deciding which official higher up people will be with us. So we are the only Pets that will be going on that weekend. So it's very exclusive. They want to put as much energy into us as is possible. So March 13th through March 15th. And you'll note we have no PE Zooms at all during March, because I want you to be 100% invested in Pets training. So that's that thing. And then the third thing is open the Rotary Learning Center. I showed you 2 tools on there. Just spend some time looking at that. Look at the classes. Some of them are 10 minutes long. Some of them are 30 minutes long. Lots of them are 15 minutes long. So you can do little chunks at different times. Just make sure you have a notebook. I'd encourage you to have just a blank kind of a notebook. That's your Rotary place that you can keep going back there, or whatever kinds of tools. Put a folder if you do things online, and start collecting information, because you'll find you'll want to go back and say, wait a minute, I heard about this, and I wrote down a few ideas of what I wanted to do. So those are the 3 things. Marie Olson put the myrotary.org in there. Please make sure you do .org. Do not do .com. You'll be in trouble if you do that. Anything from pornography to scams. So it is .org. Rotary is always .org, O-R-G. So remember that as you go along. So those 3 things. Who would you ask to mentor you, or to just tap for leadership ideas? Pets on your calendar. And then number 3 is my Rotary Learning Center. So I'm going to be quiet now. And I want, if you need to disappear, you're welcome to do so. But for the rest of us, what I'd like to do is just for you to very simply tell us your name and tell us what club you are in, and tell us if this is your first time around as a president. And then finally, tell us who came to mind when I said you need to sit down with someone, because you can sit down with multiple people, but who's the first person that you can contact and invite to to sit down with you and just tap their brain. So your name, your club, whether it's your first time around, and then who that person, you don't even have to tell us their name, just okay, I'm going to talk to last year's president, or the person who was my committee chair 3 years ago when I did something. And so who will that be? So looking around, Greg, take it away.
Right.
You were first on our Zoom today.
Hi, my name's Greg Ludvigson. I'm with the Burnsville Breakfast Rotary Club. I've been the member of Rotary for about 3 years. I've been not president, I've been treasurer for approximately 2 years. I've come in and I'm president-elect, and I get together every 2 weeks and have for about the past year with the past president and the current president. And so we're doing, rehearsal of what's been going on and planning for the future.
Awesome. Wow. Model student, right from, leave it to the person who sits in the front row of the classroom that goes in. That's great. Ron, I think you came along next onto our Zoom today.
Yeah, I'm Ron Newsom from Minnetonka Rotary and president-elect. I've been in Rotary since it was invented, and held several posts in several of the committees, and I'll be working with, in fact, in our club's unusual, we have many past presidents who have remained active and are still participating in the club. So I got a lot of mentors around. There's no shortage of people telling me what to do, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable. So this is my first year as president. We had a very contentious election. I was the only one appointed or who signed up for it, so it was a pretty easy
Congratulations.
election. So anyway, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks,
Actually,
Ron.
let me say one other thing. My father was a president in Minnetonka Rotary, in the Austin, Minnesota Rotary, and my nephew was a president there, and my son was president, Mark Newsom, of Edina Rotary at one time. So we got a lot of family members who've come up through the ranks.
Awesome.
So I sort of had to do this in order to stay in the family.
And your Edina Morningside, you some family members, the very first one who tapped me on the shoulder for my first committee role years
Really? Okay.
ago.
Okay.
So that's awesome. All right. Sharif,
Yeah, good morning. I joined Rotary, I think, right before COVID. I took early retirement and I was looking for paying back to the community. And I grew up in Bangladesh, and my cousin was the district governor in Bangladesh of Rotary. So he talked very highly about Rotary. So I think there was a connection. You asked about who came to my mind to really reach out. Two folks, the Brad Larson, who was the president 2 terms back. And then in 2019, somewhere there, I worked for an year and a half with Steve May. And I think Steve was with the Rotary Morningside. He and I worked with the Afghan refugees that came in and got to know a lot of Rotary folks through that. So that's what I'm going to do.
excellent. All right. Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria Bavender, and I'm with Minneapolis City of Lakes. This is my first time being president. My husband was actually president of our club many years ago, so we're both Rotarians and been involved. I've been in the club 10 years. In terms of getting ready, I have announced my positions, and we'll be voting on those December 4th. So that's all been, at least our positions are set up. I'm going to be meeting with Gail Noakes, who's a past president, and will also be taking on our membership role next year on Monday. And Jennifer Burrell has agreed to meet with me on Tuesday because I'm really impressed with the work that Maple Grove has done. So she's going to take some time and have coffee with me. So those are a couple. We are going to do a visioning session, and Gail does that kind of work, in her career as an HR leader. And so we're going to start planning how would we do some visioning with club leaders and develop some goals for the year.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Kurt.
Hi, I'm Kurt Hagan. I'm Bloomington Noon. This is my first run at president or president-elect. Been in the club for, oh boy, probably a dozen years. Been on, the foundation board and the club boards, but my first time as president. Mentor names that came to mind. The first one, Mark, one you mentioned, Don Stiles is in our club. He's like Mr. Rotary, right? He's been so involved in Rotary since the day I met him at Rotary, and just a wealth of knowledge. So he was the first person that came to mind. Mark, you were the second one, although we've never met. I can see your passion and your for Rotary, and your knowledge of kind of the process and the system, if you will. That I think you would be a lot of helpful in pointing me in the right direction, because I haven't really ever looked at being president of the club. Never really had time, but we didn't have anybody else stepping up, and so I took on that role. But I've got a lot to learn, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Excellent. Leslie, I see you've got your hand up too.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm en route traveling this morning, getting ready to head out. So sorry for the video issues. Yes, my name is Leslie Dingman. I am with the Rotary Club of St. Cloud. I have been with the Rotary Club there about 9-10 years now. So I'm excited for this new leadership opportunity. Our club is really strategic about pre-planning, and so there are presidents ahead of me that I have gotten to know just through some of my committee chair positions. So I do intend to speak with some of those that I've really developed a good relationship with. And our current president, Ken Bellico, he is someone who I've actually just gotten to know really well through participation in Rotary this last year, as he's come into his leadership position, and find him someone that's very inspirational to me. So I intend to work closely with him in my preparation.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, some clubs have the whole presidential track down extremely well, and other clubs are just kind of well, here's an individual, and we'll help you whenever you need it, whenever you ask. So you have to be assertive in this, depending on your club. And the thing that I'll also throw out there is, just because you've got a well-oiled club doesn't mean that that people won't make assumptions and assume you know everything. So you've got to do the asking and inquiring that is there.
Sound advice. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. G Ray, is that I'm thinking that's, if I remember how to pronounce your name.
Yes, that is correct. Well, I am.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me? I am currently driving.
Yeah,
so I'm not driving. I am sitting on the passenger seat, so I'm safe. But I'm with the Minneapolis Club 9, and it's going to be my first time president. And thank you again, Mark, for organizing this. I think it's very helpful to just get started early. I think that's the advice I received from our current president, Kim Weiss. She said the resources you showed today was golden for her. So she had, me and her, we meet every other Friday before our Rotary meeting, going through some stuff. And our Club 9 is also one of those oil machines about the next president. So we just announced our president for 2026. So we had 3 presidents ahead already. So we are working really hard, and I'm looking forward in connecting with all of you in this group as well, to just learn about how we can collaborate more as president-elect and to the future. So I'm very, very excited. And yeah, I've been with Rotary since 2011. As an exchange student, as a Rotaract, I'm the gold child of Rotary. I did every step.
That is awesome. Awesome. All right, great stories. And you know, that's perfect. The idea of working together. When our clubs work together, Rotary becomes so strong. So you know, that's a part of these moments that we'll spend together is just getting to know people and then being confident to say, oh, well, I can talk to this person from this club and they have something going on in this and tap each other here. All right, we've got what, four AGs on here. So in our last couple of minutes, here I'm going to ask you, you know, just kind of tell us your basic geographical section. Those who you are AG for probably might be aware of that, but tell us where in the state you are, and then simply one little nugget from your Rotary leadership that you can throw out here. What's one highlight of Rotary leadership for you? So real short, just one sentence. You don't get to go long. Doug, take it away. You.
Great. Yep. My name's Doug Kaveen. I'm in the Wilmer Rotary Club, Wilmer, Minnesota. I'm assistant governor in Area 9, along with my co-partner, Dave Lady. My clubs of responsibility are Hutchinson, Gaylord, and Glencoe. So when I visit them, I put on a lot of screen time and miles and so forth. The one gem or nugget I would share with you is just get your team together. The sooner, the better. Attend every one of these Zoom meetings, and the real diamond is that PETS training in March. Just do it all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Marie, you've kind of come out, well, I don't know. There's kind of a tie for you and Jennifer as far as leadership, recent presidency going on here. But tell us.
Yeah, so Marie Olson, I'm the immediate past president of the Egan Kickstart Rotary Club, and I've only been in Rotary for just a little over 3 years, so they grabbed me right away. So don't be scared, because if you don't think you know anything about Rotary, this group will help you out. And I am Area 2, so shout out to Burnsville Breakfast and Savage on the call today. I also cover the 2 Egan clubs, the other Burnsville club, Shakopee and Apple Valley, all really strong clubs. So it's been fun. I've been starting to visit, so I need to get out. Shout out to the Burnsville Uncorked event. I'll be there. So, and my tip, I guess for me, it was I had a huge goal of membership. We grew like 30% of our club was new last year. And so for me, filling that membership chair with a very energetic and excited and willing to jump in kind of person was key. And we started a membership committee and just got that thing off the ground. So that's kind of what worked best for me.
Great. And another very recent president, Jennifer.
Yes, good morning again, everybody. I am the past president for Maple Grove and the current AG for Area 7. The clubs are Buffalo, Rogers, St. Michael, Abbotsville, and Maple Grove, which is my home club. What will I say about these trainings? I would just like to encourage everybody. Being the president of a club is an opportunity and a huge responsibility, but it's fun. Don't take it too seriously. These trainings will help you. And connection. Anybody you meet along the way in Rotary, take a note and try to remember and build that relationship. That will carry you on, and just keep smiling. You will make mistakes, you will learn from your mistakes. There are always people to guide you, and don't joke with your relationships. It will make your presidency so easy. So that's my nugget. And I've been a Rotarian for 5 years. And I was also a Rotaractor back in Africa, in my home country, before I moved over to the US. So I was just building blocks, and it has helped me. Thank you.
That is great. And Mary.
Yes, welcome. I am, Marie does such a great job, and she, you can tell it's all in the attitude. And I just love this. It is so much fun. going to the clubs, meeting new Rotarians. Every club is different and they do things differently, and you go, oh my gosh. So you can take them back and share with others. I have the 2 St. Louis Park clubs, Golden Valley, which is my home club, Robbinsdale, New Hope, Crystal, and the 2 Brooklyn Park clubs, Brooklyn Center, I'm sorry, and then also the Eco Club. So it is fun, and I started in the early 1800s, and so I've been in Rotary for quite a while, and president of a few clubs. So it is just, these are the friendships that you'll hold dear, and you'll keep going back to. So enjoy your year.
Awesome. You can tell the support of the AGs is here for all of you, and even those who aren't on this call. If you're from one of those areas, similar, these AGs are so committed and such a resource for you. And the greatest thing is they never get tired of answering questions, I've discovered. So don't hesitate to ask those questions. All right. We got looks like 1 minute left before our end time here. Any questions that you have that have come up in what we've talked about?
The session was very helpful, Mark. Thank you for setting it up. Do we have a schedule for the future sessions? Do we have the date so that we can put it on the calendar?
Yeah, yep. So in that initial email that I sent out on Monday night, there is a PDF attachment on that, and I'll put it in the attachment with. I'm going to send the recording of this session to everyone, so you'll see it there as well. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you longer than promised. That's one of my keys here. I want to get us in and get us out, and let this be our twice a month kinds of gatherings. And please, if you can't be here, just take a quick look. It's just that half an hour time frame that's really vital to look at the recording of, and there'll always be something that you'll pick up on. You might know 3/4 of it, but if there's 1/4 that you're learning, then it's worth it, and others need you too. So thank you so much. Thanks for hopping in with a less than a week notice. You guys are superstars. Look forward to working with you this next year.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank Mark.
Bye.
Thank you.